The silent threshold. Commander Elena Kasov stood at the observation deck of Proxima Station, her eyes fixed on the swirling dust clouds of the nearby nebula. The red dwarf star Proxima Centauri cast an ethereal crimson glow across the viewport, illuminating her weathered face. Humanity's furthest permanent settlement housed over 30,000 souls, all of whom now looked to her for leadership in these uncertain times. Commander, Lieutenant Ravi Sharma's voice broke the silence. The Vesperian envoy has arrived. They're requesting immediate audience. Elena's jaw tightened, but she kept her composure. Tell them I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yes, Commander. Ravi hesitated. They'd brought 3 warships this time. Of course they have, Elena muttered after he left. The Vesperian Collective had emerged as the dominant power in this sector over the past decade. Tall, exoskeleton-clad beings with compound eyes and a rigid social hierarchy, they controlled 19 star systems and had technological capabilities that outstripped humanity's, at least officially. Their rapid expansion had finally reached human space, and this meeting marked their 3rd diplomatic visit in as many months. When Elena entered the station's conference chamber, 3 Vesperians already stood waiting. Their chitinous bodies towered nearly 8 feet tall, iridescent plates shifting with subtle colors that conveyed emotional states indecipherable to most humans. Commander Kasov, the lead Vesperian's translator module, produced a metallic voice. The Collective appreciates your punctuality. Elena nodded curtly. Ambassador Vrex, what brings the Collective to Proxima Station again so soon? Clarification and finalization. Vrex's mandibles clicked. The Collective has determined that the resource-rich planets in this system would be better utilized under our administration. We have prepared a relocation schedule for your colonists. The Collective will provide transportation and minimal compensation. Elena felt heat rising in her face, but maintained her diplomatic mask. Ambassador, as I explained in our previous meetings, Proxima Centauri was terraformed by humans at great cost. This colony has been established for 17 years. We have no intention of abandoning it. Your intention is noted but irrelevant. Vrex's carapace flashed deep blue. A sign Elena had learned indicated dismissal. The Interstellar Assembly has already approved our expansion into this sector. Your species lacks the standing to challenge this decision. The Interstellar Assembly, a coalition of 26 advanced species that regulated galactic affairs. Humanity had applied for full membership 15 years ago and remained classified as an emerging intelligence with observer status only. The Vesperians, with their advanced technology and extensive alliance network, held considerable influence. Earth will file a formal protest, Elena said evenly. As is your right, Vrex responded. The Collective has allocated 3 standard cycles for your evacuation. After that time, we will begin our resource extraction operations regardless of human presence. This is not a negotiation, Commander. It is a courtesy notification. After the Vesperians departed, Elena immediately opened a secure channel to Earth Defense Command. Admiral Weijong's face appeared on the screen, his expression grim. They've made their move, Elena reported. Full evacuation order with a 3-week deadline. They're not even pretending it's optional anymore. Admiral Zhang nodded slowly. The Security Council received similar ultimatums for New Titan and the Epsilon Eridani colonies. They're moving on all fronts. What's Earth's response? We can't possibly evacuate 30,000 people in 3 weeks, even if we wanted to. You'll receive official orders to begin evacuation preparations, Zhang said, his voice lowered despite the secure connection. Make it look convincing, Commander. Elena leaned closer to the screen. Sir, you're being activated for Prometheus Protocol. Verification code, Olympus 7 Delta Phoenix. Elena felt a chill run through her body. Prometheus Protocol was something she'd been briefed on only once, 5 years ago. A contingency so secret that most high-ranking military personnel weren't even aware of its existence. Admiral, are we certain? This will change everything. The decision has been made at the highest level. You'll receive a package within 48 hours. Stand by for further instructions." The Admiral's face softened momentarily. "Alina, what's about to happen has been 15 years in the making. Trust the plan." The transmission ended, leaving Alina staring at the blank screen. True to the Admiral's word, a nondescript cargo vessel docked at Proxima Station 2 days later. The manifest listed routine supplies, but Lieutenant Sharma personally delivered a small, unmarked case to Alina's quarters. Inside was a quantum-encrypted data core that activated to her biometric signature. The files it contained left her speechless. Detailed schematics of technology far beyond what humanity publicly possessed. Activation codes for systems hidden within Proxima Station itself. Systems she hadn't known existed. And most shockingly, footage of massive shipyards hidden in Earth's outer solar system, constructing vessels unlike anything in humanity's known fleet. For 15 years, while humanity had played the role of a struggling newcomer to interstellar society, they had been building in secret, developing technologies reverse-engineered from various sources, and preparing for the day when the galactic community would inevitably try to exploit them, as they had countless other emerging species. As Alina processed this revelation, alarms blared throughout the station. She rushed to the command center to find chaos erupting. "Vesperian warships just dropped out of FTL," Ravi reported, his voice strained. "6 heavy cruisers, not the 3 we expected. They're deploying fighters and have activated weapons systems. They're moving early," Alina realized. "Open a channel." The communication officer tried repeatedly, but shook his head. "They're not responding, Commander." "All personnel to emergency stations," Alina ordered. "Begin civilian evacuation to the subsurface shelters." The first barrage hit before the evacuation could properly begin. The station's shields, which should have been minimal according to humanity's official technological level, surprisingly held, but the colony on the planet's surface wasn't so fortunate. Vesperian precision strikes targeted power generation facilities and atmospheric processors. Reports flooded in of casualties mounting by the minute. 3,000 dead in the first wave alone. The Vesperians weren't just enforcing an evacuation. They were making an example of Proxima Colony. "They never intended to let us leave," Alina realized, watching the destruction unfold on the monitors. Her hand moved to the special access panel revealed in the data core's files. This was always going to be a massacre. She entered her authorization code, then pressed her palm against the hidden scanner. A new section of the command console illuminated, displaying systems and capabilities that officially didn't exist. "Commander?" Ravi questioned, eyes wide as unfamiliar systems came online around them. "Lieutenant Sharma, you are hereby informed that Prometheus Protocol is active," Alina stated formally. "Acknowledge authorization, Alpha Tango 70 Omega." Recognition flickered in Ravi's eyes. He too had been briefed, just in case. Authorization acknowledged. Prometheus systems activating. Throughout Proxima Station, hidden compartments opened. Weapons platforms that had been disguised as regular infrastructure emerged. Shield generators powered up to full capacity, far beyond what any Vesperian intelligence believed possible. And beneath the colony's surface, massive defensive arrays rose from hidden bunkers. Alina opened a channel to the Vesperian fleet, which was preparing for another attack run. This time, they answered. "This is Commander Alina Kasov of Earth Defense Force," she stated, her voice steel. "Your unprovoked attack on a civilian colony constitutes an act of war against humanity. You have 60 seconds to cease fire and withdraw your forces." Ambassador Vrex appeared on screen, mandibles twitching in what Alina recognized as the Vesperian equivalent of amusement. "Commander, your primitive defenses cannot withstand our bombardment. Your threats are as meaningless as your species' place in the galaxy." 50 seconds, Ambassador, Alina replied calmly. "Perhaps we underestimated human stubbornness," Vrex said, "but not human capability. You have no fleet, No significant defensive systems. This posturing wastes both our time. 30 seconds. Vrex's carapace flashed with patterns indicating frustration and contempt. The collective does not respond to empty threats. We will take what we want, as we always have. 10 seconds. Alina continued the countdown, then nodded to Ravi. Activate Prometheus defensive systems. What happened next would forever change humanity's standing in the galaxy. Advanced shield technology, weapon systems, and defensive capabilities that had been meticulously hidden from interstellar observation flickered to life. The Vesperian ship's next bombardment wave dissipated harmlessly against defenses they hadn't believed possible. Then, seemingly from nowhere, 7 sleek vessels of unmistakably human design dropped out of FTL, directly behind the Vesperian fleet. Their hulls were midnight black, absorbing rather than reflecting light. Stealth systems beyond anything the interstellar assembly species possessed. This is Admiral Helena Ortiz of the Earth Defense Force vessel Reckoning. A new voice announced on all frequencies. Prometheus Protocol is now in full effect. All Vesperian forces are ordered to stand down immediately. On the tactical display, Alina watched as targeted precision strikes disabled the Vesperian warship's propulsion systems one by one. No ships destroyed, just immobilized with surgical precision that demonstrated technological mastery far beyond what the Vesperians believed humans capable of. "What is this?" Vrex demanded, his translator unable to fully convey the mixture of shock and outrage in his native vocalizations. "This, Ambassador," Alina replied, "is humanity's patience running out." The reckoning storm. The news spread across the galaxy with unprecedented speed. Humanity, long dismissed as technological underachievers barely worthy of attention in interstellar politics, had not only repelled a Vesperian attack, but had done so with technology that, by all accounts, they shouldn't possess. 3 days after the Proxima incident, representatives from 17 species convened an emergency session of the Interstellar Assembly. The Grand Chamber, a massive spherical structure orbiting a neutral star, buzzed with agitation as diplomats and observers from across the galaxy demanded explanations. Admiral Weizhang stood calmly at the central podium, the first human ever invited to address the full assembly. Behind him, holographic displays showed footage that had shocked the galactic community. Vesperian warships disabled by weapons of unfamiliar design, human vessels appearing with stealth capabilities beyond known science, and defensive systems that made a mockery of standard attack protocols. For 15 years, Jean began, his voice carrying through the chamber. Humanity has requested full membership in this assembly. For 15 years, we have been classified as emerging intelligence, despite meeting every published criterion for advanced species status. For 15 years, we have watched as our colonies were classified as disputed territories, and our resource rights were allocated to more established civilizations. He paused, looking around the chamber. And for 15 years, we have prepared for the inevitable day when one of your member species decided we were too valuable as prey rather than partners. The moderator, a tall crystalline being from one of the founding species, raised a limb. "Admiral Zhang, the Assembly recognizes that the Vesperian action was unauthorized and condemns." "With respect, moderator," Zhang interrupted, causing murmurs of shock at the breach of protocol. "Your condemnation comes only after discovering we could defend ourselves. Where was this concern when the Vesperians presented their expansion plans that included 3 human-settled systems, plans this very assembly approved last cycle?" On the second level of the chamber, the Vesperian delegation's carapaces flashed with patterns indicating outrage and denial. Their diplomatic chief rose to speak. The human representative makes wild accusations to distract from their deception. They have violated assembly protocols by concealing military capabilities. They have developed technologies restricted by interstellar treaty. Zhang smiled thinly. "Treaties that apply only to full members, which you have repeatedly denied us." The chamber erupted in overlapping translations and outbursts. The moderator called for order repeatedly before the noise subsided. What humanity has demonstrated, Zhang continued once silence returned, is not merely defensive capability, but a fundamental message. We will no longer be underestimated or exploited. He activated his own holographic controls, and new images appeared. Massive shipyards in Earth's outer system, advanced research facilities hidden beneath the ice of Europa, and most shockingly, a network of faster-than-light sensor arrays that spanned human territory. Operation Leviathan is now fully active, Zhang announced. The full capabilities of the Earth Defense Force are being deployed throughout human space. We have established quantum phase communication networks that cannot be intercepted. We have developed defensive systems specifically designed to counter the technologies of every major military power in this assembly. The images shifted to show a fleet of vessels emerging from concealed bases throughout the Sol system. Hundreds of ships of various classes, all featuring the same advanced design philosophy seen at Proxima. The Vesperians attacked a human colony and killed over 5,000 civilians. Zhang's voice hardened. Under normal circumstances, this would constitute an act of war requiring proportional response. However, humanity is prepared to show restraint, this time. He looked directly at the Vesperian delegation. We demand formal reparations for the Proxima attack, immediate recognition of all human territorial claims, and the resignation of all Vesperian officials involved in planning this aggression. The Vesperian diplomatic chief's translator struggled to convert his agitated clicking. The collective rejects these outrageous demands. We will not be threatened by. He was interrupted by new alerts flashing across the Assembly's shared information network. Live feeds showed the main Vesperian fleet base in the Arcturus sector suddenly surrounded by 30 human vessels that had appeared without warning. Another feed displayed similar scenes at 3 other Vesperian military installations. This is not a threat, Zhang stated calmly. This is a reality. Humanity spent 15 years developing in secret because you gave us no choice. Now we offer you one. Acknowledge us as equals, or we will take the recognition we deserve. The moderator conferred urgently with other senior assembly members before addressing Zhang again. Admiral, while these demonstrations are concerning, escalating military confrontation benefits no one. Perhaps a negotiated. We have been attempting to negotiate for 15 years, Zhang interrupted again. Now we negotiate from a position of strength, or not at all. On Earth, President Amara Chen watched the assembly proceedings from the Situation Room deep beneath the Himalayan Defense Complex. Around her, military and civilian leaders monitored the unfolding situation across multiple star systems. The Vesperians are mobilizing their reserve fleets, Defense Minister Okafor reported. They're calling our bluff. It's not a bluff, Chen replied. Activate Phase 2. Throughout human space and beyond, hidden quantum phase transmitters activated simultaneously. The technology, developed in secret and fundamentally different from standard communication systems, bypassed all known monitoring or jamming capabilities. In an instant, every military vessel, space station, and major ground installation belonging to interstellar assembly members received the same message. For 15 years, humanity has developed in isolation while seeking peaceful integration. We now demonstrate a fraction of what we have achieved. We desire partnership, not conflict. Choose wisely. Accompanying the message was technical data on a new propulsion system, valuable but not critical technology, freely given as both demonstration and warning of what humanity now possessed. In the assembly chamber, Zhang watched as representatives frantically consulted with their governments through secure channels. The Vesperian delegation's agitation was visible in their rapidly changing color patterns. This assembly has 48 hours to recognize full human membership and sovereignty, Zhang stated. During this time, Earth Defense Force vessels will maintain their current positions. Meanwhile, at the Vesperian homeworld, the situation had reached crisis level. Supreme Director Kizvrek convened the collective's high command as reports flooded in of human vessels appearing at strategic locations throughout their territory. Most alarmingly, These vessels had bypassed all early warning systems, appearing virtually on top of Vesperian installations without triggering a single alert. How is this possible? Kisvrek demanded. Our intelligence indicated their technology was decades behind ours. Fleet Commander TZ Mers Carapace displayed patterns of extreme distress. They concealed their true capabilities deliberately, Supreme Director. The humans we dismissed as primitive were showing us only what they wanted us to see. Can we defeat them militarily? The silence that followed was answer enough. Back at the assembly, the 48-hour deadline approached its final minutes. The chamber had remained in continuous session, with species that had previously ignored humanity now frantically seeking private audiences with Zhang and other human representatives. As the final seconds counted down, the moderator called for attention. After extensive consultation, this assembly has reached a decision, the crystalline being announced. The status of humanity is hereby revised to full member species with all associated rights and responsibilities. The territorial claims of human settlements are recognized as sovereign. A commission will be established to investigate the Proxima incident and determine appropriate reparations. Zhang nodded acknowledgement, but remained silent. At this, Zhang finally spoke. Humanity accepts these terms as a starting point. Our vessels will withdraw from Vesperian space within 24 hours, contingent upon formal acknowledgement of responsibility for the Proxima attack. The Vesperian diplomatic chief's carapace displayed complex patterns before he finally responded. The collective acknowledges operational errors were made. Formal statements and reparation offers will be transmitted within 1 solar day. As the assembly session concluded, Zhang received a direct communication from President Chen. "Well done, Admiral," she said. "Phase 1 complete. And Phase 2, Madam President." Chen smiled thinly. "Now we show them what partnership with humanity truly offers. Prepare the Prometheus Accords for distribution." Within a week, humanity had transformed from overlooked newcomers to the center of galactic attention. The technology sample shared during the standoff had proven genuine and immediately applicable, a gesture that sparked intense interest in what other advancements humans might possess. The Prometheus Accords, revealed the following month, offered technological and scientific cooperation with species willing to engage as true equals. Unlike the exploitative agreements that characterized many interstellar relationships, humanity's approach emphasized mutual benefit and development. "We remember what it means to be the underdog," President Chen explained in a historic address to the full assembly. "We remember being dismissed and underestimated. Now that we have proven our worth, we choose to build bridges rather than walls. Any species willing to work with us as equals will find no better partner." Commander Elena Kasov, now Admiral Kasov after her promotion, oversaw the rebuilding of Proxima Colony with Vesperian reparation funds. As she watched new structures rise from the devastation, Lieutenant Sharma, now Captain Sharma, joined her at the observation deck. "The Vesperians have been surprisingly cooperative," he noted. "Their engineering teams are actually working well with ours." Elena nodded. "Nothing builds respect like knowing you can't push someone around anymore. Do you think they'll try again, when they've developed countermeasures to our technology?" She turned to look at the stars beyond the viewport. "That's the interesting part about humanity's secret development, Ravi. What we revealed. It's already 15 years old. What we're working on now." She smiled. "Let's just say the galaxy hasn't seen anything yet. Across human space and beyond, a new era had begun. The day humanity's patience ran out had changed the universe forever, and the galaxy was slowly realizing that mankind's potential had only just begun to unfold.